By now, we have learned about different ways of handling individual input elements like input or select. In this video, we will go ahead and combine these individual input elements inside a form and handle them together. So here we have wrapped our input elements inside a form element, and we have added a button of type submit for user to submit the form once data is filled. So let's go ahead and remove the old way of handling individual elements, and we will handle all these elements at once using forms. So first thing we need to understand about forms is like to submit the form, there are two ways of handling it. Either you click on submit button, or generally at a lot of places you must have seen that you just press enter and the form gets submitted. So there are two types of event happening here. One of type click, that is clicking on the button, and another of type key up, that is pressing enter. But to handle that in form, it's really easy. And for that, we can go ahead and say form that add event listener, and here instead of putting two types, we can just go ahead and say submit. The submit type of event is only available on forms, and it can handle both the things, enter and clicking on the button. And we'll put on our handler, that is handle submit. We'll go ahead and create the function handle submit. Handle submit will get access to event object, and we'll go ahead and for now we'll just say console.log form submitted. Now if we refresh this page, enter the test data and click on submit button, something is happening in which the data disappeared. Nothing happened. We didn't see any console. So pay your attention to this refresh button. See what happens as soon as we press enter or click on submit button. So I'll go ahead, click on submit button, and you can see, so the page got refreshed. Means, so all the data that user filled in got deleted and we didn't see any message. And the reason for that is every form element has a default nature to refresh the page. Lot of element has their default nature. Like think about an anchor element. As soon as we go ahead and say something like anchor tag test, if we refresh it, we can see this test. Every anchor element has a default nature to refresh the page. Similarly, if you click on form, every form element has a default nature to refresh the page. But what if you don't want that to happen? To handle that, so to handle the default nature, we can go ahead and say event.prevent default. It means you are asking the specific event happening on form to not perform the default nature of that element. Default nature of form element is to refresh the page, and you're saying don't do that. We'll go ahead and log event and see whether it is working or not. So we'll click on submit and we can see console message now. And here every event object has a property called default prevented, and it will either be true or false based on have you prevented the default nature or not. So never forget to prevent the default nature of form whenever you want to capture user informations. Now let's move on to handling data inside all these form elements like input or select. So think about it. Every time you're handling this data, we don't have to handle it individually. We know that when user will click on submit, or specifically whenever submit event happens, I need to capture all this data and store it in a variable called user info. We'll go ahead and look at all the different elements of form. So we'll see the first element is input, second is select, and third is checkbox. To see that, we can go ahead and say console.dir. And when we click on this, we can see that the form element has a special property called elements. Means all the elements of this form. So for now, we can see all the different elements in this form are input, select, and input of type checkbox. So elements contains all the element of that form, and we can see it here. Like we can access using 0, 1, 2, 3, or we can access it using a special name given to a form element. So every form element can accept a name attribute. It means that you are naming that specific form. So even if you have multiple input elements, you can name them differently. Like this one has a name of email. The select element has a name of gender. Similarly, input of type checkbox element has a name of terms. So giving them name makes it a lot more easier for us to access them. So there are two ways to access it. You can access it using the index of the form, like the index of this form is 0, this one is 1, this one is 2. But what if in future you add a new input element? The index of this got changed. So you don't want to change it every time you are adding a new input element. So the best way to go about it is to name the elements using name attribute and use that name because that will never change. You should always keep those names unique. So here email, gender, terms and text. And if we want to access them, we can go ahead and say form.elements dot the name of the form. So what are we looking for? We are looking for email. So we can go ahead and say console.log form.elements.email. As soon as we click on submit, we can see the input element. Similarly, so gender is the name of select element. Here, the name of checkbox is terms. Now we refresh this page, click on submit, and we can see we get access to all these three elements. We can also get access to the button element, but we don't have to handle anything on that. So we are not adding any name property. So it is an optional thing to do. So now we have access to all these different elements of the form. So using these elements, so we can get access to the data of that element. And what do we need to do with that data? We need to store them inside user info. So I'll go ahead and say user info.email is going to be form.elements.email. So this is the element, and an input element has a special property called value, using which we can access the value of that input element. Now let's go ahead and say user info.gender is equal to form.elements.gender will give us access to select element where we have something called value. We'll store them inside. And at last we'll say user info.terms is equal to form.elements.terms. It means we get access to this specific checkbox element. It has a property called checked. Normally what you do in real world project is to send this data to a server to do something with the data. Something like if you're creating a new account on facebook.com, they will get all the information that you fill in and send it to server to store that data. But here we will just go ahead and say console.log user info. Now let's go ahead and see whether it is working properly for us or not. So email is test@example.com. Gender is others. I click on terms and click on submit. As soon as we do that, we can get our data here. But there are two ways user can submit a form. One by clicking on submit button, other by just pressing enter. So I pressed enter. So our form is handling both the events, either clicking on a button or clicking enter. And we are getting access to our information, and our code looks a lot more simpler and smaller. So whenever you have to combine multiple input elements together, the best approach is to use forms because it does a lot more than input elements. So we learned about two important. What is the default nature of elements like anchor tag or form, and how can you prevent it? Using prevent default method present at every event object. We learned about how can we access different element using elements property present at forms. We also learned about the submit type of event that handles both clicking on button and enter.